Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Jump right into it, man. Shout out to the NBA champs, the Golden State Warriors. They take down Boston, the Celtics in Boston, 103-90, game 6. Good series, man. Good series. Excellent series and performance from Steph Curry. Who wins the Finals MVP, finally adds that distinction to his resume, and they get their 4th title in 8 years, and it is what it is. I think the key thing here, I was talking about it yesterday leading up to the game. What would the start be like? And Boston couldn't get off to a better start. They were up 14-2, and and Golden State showed the heart of a real champion. Came back, took the Boston crowd out of it. They went on that 21-0 run. One thing that you saw very early, I never understand this. But all of the switching that goes on, that's because we're in this positionless basketball. But all of the switching on defense that goes on, it's almost like the coach doesn't have any say-so. Like, I want you defending so-and-so. We need you defending so-and-so. But very early in that game, when Marcus Smart, the current defensive player of the year, in the first quarter, and maybe he was tired. Maybe he was trying to conserve himself for later in the game. I don't know. But when you allow 30-something year, mid-30s, what is Al Horford? 35, 36, 37 years old or something? When you eagerly tap him for him to go and guard Steph 25, 26 feet from the rim and leave that man in space like that against one of the guys with the better handle, with some of the best handles in the league, the step back game, everything that he can do to Al Horford out there. But when you put that man on that island like that, that's just not winning basketball, and that's not accepting a challenge and giving your team the best opportunity to win the game. It's inexcusable. So when I saw that, that kind of caught my attention, and they called it out on there. I think the coach, Jeff Van Gundy, I just couldn't believe it. But it goes on in all these games because they do so much pick and roll. The 2-man game up top, and the dribble handoffs, and they get the matchup. It's just weird, man, that you can just, it's so easy to get the matchup that you want to get to exploit and punish the other team. I just don't get it. But anyway, every time Boston, so Jaylen Brown goes for 34. Pretty big game from him. Very consistent series from him. And probably the whole argument is he the best player on the team? Is Tatum the best player on the team? Is it Tatum's team? Is Tatum elite and all of this stuff? When it comes time to prove it, when it comes time to play, you just have to be it. And Tatum, he finishes with like 13 points. Continue to take a lot of difficult shots, and they missed a lot of shots in the paint. Marcus Smart, Tatum, they missed a lot of shots in the paint. Horford came through with another good game for him, an excellent game for him. I think he had 19 points. Not a lot from Smart. I think he had 9 points or something. Grant Williams, Derek White, these others who had big moments or went on good stretches, none of those guys really showed up. You know, Pritchard, he was good in earlier series and had good moments in earlier series, but he didn't do much in the finals at all. Draymond, you know, I thought Draymond was good for one. I thought he was good for one more good game. He actually came through with 2. He had 8 points in game 5, 12 last night. Knocked down 2 3-pointers. I think he went 2 for 3, 2 for 5 or something from deep. He finally shot and made the 18-20 footer that I was looking for. He finally did it. So it was just what else? You know, not the biggest game from Clay, but he was there. Poole gets 15 with his erratic ass play, you know, and his crazy offense. So he had that big drive though. Every time that Boston would kind of like be on the cusp of making a run or starting to make a run, or starting to get it into the single digits or something, you know, whether it was Wiggins knocking down a 3, you know, Golden State just made the play to keep things rolling. And basically just, you know, they made that last little stand where they may have made, I don't know, a 5 or 7 point run to get it to the double digits with like 2 minutes to go or something. And then Udoka, you know, he gradually started conceding the victory. He went on and pulled all the starters with like a minute to go or whatever. And, you know, and it was over. Steph with all of the emotions after the victory and celebrating on the court and everything. And like I said, man, Steph really doesn't have an adversarial relationship with the media. I think most of the media wants him to, is a fan of his and supportive of him. You know, he says all the right stuff. You know, Steph doesn't get. I'm not. You know, I don't have much argument in the top 10 all time, and that's really not my thing. But one of the best. Steph has to be one of the best teammates of all time, and maybe even leaders of a team, but mainly leads through his actions and his energy. Like I was thinking about it. I've never seen Steph run over to Draymond when things got dicey and to tell Draymond, calm the hell down, or Draymond, your stuff is hurting us. Your antics are hurting us. I've never seen him really confront any of his. I've never seen him go over and say much to Clay when Clay was off or struggling. They don't seem to do that. You know, they just let every one of them be who they are. He was very supportive of Jordan Poole. Even gave the ball to Jordan Poole for that last second shot, maybe at the half last night. I thought that was an interesting choice to give Poole the chance to hit the, you know, the buzzer beater or whatever to go into the half. I thought that was kind of indicative of what I'm talking about with his leadership style. In comparison, you know, if you contrast that to what I saw sometimes from Kobe Bryant, you know, I saw Kobe's style kind of break down Pau Gasol. I feel like Kobe Bryant sent Andrew Bynum's. I thought he sent that young dude's career into a tailspin early. The way that he talked to some of those guys, his expectations, and the way that he communicated, you know, certain things to those guys. And, you know, even Mike, you know, some guys didn't respond well to Mike's type of leadership. But Curry, it's just kind of this great chemistry, like I said, where everybody is kind of encouraged to be who and what they are all time and go out here and just contribute to the team goal. And, you know, more times than not, it works out in their favor. I think that's very interesting about him. You know, and if you look at that 21-0 run when they came back, I said it earlier in some of the series, like, when they got down by double digits and whatnot, it's not like Steph goes and hogs up the ball. I want to say it was the Dallas series. They got off to some slow starts. Steph wouldn't even go over and demand the ball or bring the ball up the court and jack up a three. It might have been 6-7 minutes into the game before Steph got his first shot. And it's like, this is their best option, and there's no urgency to get him the ball to kind of to bring an end to this run against them. So it's just it's very unique. It's very weird how they do it, but it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's an interesting way of going about business. And like we said, many people have said, a lot of teams still haven't, even though this is the 3-point shooting era, positionless basketball, and 30-foot jump shots are acceptable, 27-foot jump shots are acceptable, and all of this stuff. Nobody's really been able to replicate the results that Golden State gets from doing it. So here they are, and we can take a look at. Like I said, I think if Ja Morant doesn't go down, I don't know that the Warriors beat the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies were built and had the right pieces and had the right type of superstar in Ja Morant that I don't know if they could have got past those guys if Morant's knee didn't fail him or whatever. But the Chris Middleton injury, maybe the Celtics shouldn't have really been here. I tell you though, with Golden State's hole at the center position, or no rim defender, I mean, Giannis would have ate like crazy against Golden State. And the way that he scores in the paint often and playing downhill and all of that type of stuff, that was not a good matchup for Golden State. But they didn't make it. You can only play you can only play who's on the schedule. And I'll get ready to get off of here, but I said that earlier, this was the perfect opportunity for Steph to be Steph and do what he does. This is the perfect opportunity to do what he does because there wasn't that. Bynum had the length. Tatum had the length and the height to be that type of defender on Steph, but he didn't really spend a lot of time guarding Steph. Similarly, Jaylen Brown, again, height, length, a little bit more size on him and everything, and athleticism, whatever. He didn't spend a lot of time guarding Steph. Like, no one accepted that assignment. Like, I got to go out here and do this for my team. The way that we would see LeBron get on to Steph in some of the key possessions or key stretches of the game against him. Nobody was going to do that against Steph. You got Horford trying to guard him one-on-one, 25 feet from the basket. Sometimes they would have Derek White on him. And then we would get a Robert Williams on him. Robert Williams could chase him down and block a shot. But Steph, over the course of that series, he gradually figured out, even though he couldn't get the fouls called, but he gradually figured out how to get around or overcome Williams' shot blocking ability. And he didn't give up and settle for jump shots. He started taking him to the hole and using the rim to defend or shield off Robert Williams and finish. I think he got that. Was that him that got the lucky call, or was that Peyton? That might have been GP2 that got the favorable whistle on that drive against Williams when Williams kind of lashed out at the referee for the call. But other than that, man, 4-2. They came back and win 3 games in a row to. And it's funny. I said some stuff about Kuminga and thought that he might be needed. His athleticism and length might be needed. Stephen A was adamant on First Take challenging Kerr and being really insistent that Kerr get Kuminga into the game. And even though they were down 2-1 or whatever, Kuminga never played more. I don't think he played more than 3 minutes the rest of the way when it looked like he was needed. So, just goes to show that these guys, some of these guys with these professions and these roles and these head coaches and whatnot, some of these guys know what the hell they're doing. And that's why they get the money and the contracts and they have the job security to do their job, because they know what the hell they're doing. So, shout to Kerr and the staff. And like I said, man, that's one of the better ran organizations in all the sports. Draymond, whether you love him or loathe him, I thought I like seeing, they played hard. They, it was some mental games going on and different things. But he went over there to all of those guys, Tatum, even the back and forth that he had with Grant Williams. They had a nice exchange at the end of the game, I thought. We got to do it. When we go out here and compete, you go out here and everything is within the confines of that sport. You go out here, wherever you can get an edge, you take it, so long as it's within the sport. And then when the contest is decided, you go tell the better man, the better team, you go say what you got to say. I mean, you congratulate them on their win, or you pay some respect for how they challenged you, how they pushed you if you were the victor. And but yeah, to come back and, like I said, get 8 points, get some assists, start making some winning plays after his own mama said, I don't know, is this a clone out here? And that's everybody on that team is kind of like the antithesis of what we'd expect. Like I said, Draymond's own mom came out here and tweeted something about her son, and it worked, because he came back, he bounced back and had an 8-point game and a 12-point game, and he got back to rebounding. The fouls kind of went away. The technicals, that whole storyline disappeared. And he comes through in this game 6 on the road. He played an instrumental role in making that happen. So you heard very little negative from him throughout that game last night. So we know it had come quite contentious between him and the Celtics crowd and whatnot. Didn't even affect the game last night. So just a very interesting series, man. Good win for those guys. That's about it. Let me get on off of here. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. Like I said, I'm on my way to Indianapolis here in a couple of hours for the Major Taylor National Invitational, the first one of its kind. I'll be there for today, Saturday and Sunday, ride scheduled every day for any of my cycling people out there. So, like I said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.